Hi there, this is Shrikant Dasari. So, in this lesson, we are going to introduce ourselves to the array of structures concept here. Okay. So, until now we have studied how to declare structure variables and how to assign one structure variable with another, and how to initialize the structure and pass the structure variable as a function argument using call by value and call by reference. So we have introduced ourselves to the very basic things of all structure concepts. Now we are moving with array of structures. So here you can have an like how you have an integer array or a floating point array or a character array, which is also known as a string. You can even have array of structures here. Okay. So first let me launch the IDE. So we know that we are using a Visual C++ Express 2005. Okay, so already I have created a project using a struct array, so which consists nothing but struct array.c. Okay, so first let me add all the basic things like header files. So hash include hash so hash include conio.h. Okay, so let me say void main and followed by guess here. Okay, so the very basic stuff I have added for any C program. So first let me run it once and make the output more viewable, like a font. I'm just increasing the font size, taking the font and size, and just changing the background colors. So all these things are not mandatory. Screen background to white here. Okay, so everything is done. So first let us take the structure here. Okay, so let's use type def struct, let's say student, since we are taking the student class, student structure as an example. Since we have used type def, let's say stu here. Okay, so first let us take a roll number here, so int roll number, and let's take a name also, so char name of 50, and float percentage, so float percentage, and let's take another variable for storing the grade. So typically students, any student in the world consists of these data members or properties, or if you are maintaining a grade card or rank card for any student, typically you have a roll number, registered roll number, which is unique to every student, and every student has a name which might be varying to or similar to another person. You can trace down using the first name and last name and all those things. And we have a percentage allocated to every student, and also we have a grade here. Okay, so now let's create a variable for our structure here. Let's take stu s1 is equal to, so let's assign some value to it. Okay, let's say roll number as 1, and let's say the name is Shrikant, which is my name here. Okay, so let's say percentage as 75.23, so whatever it might be, and let's say the grade as A grade here. Okay, since it's a character, let's wrap it in single quotations here. Okay, so until now we have done something like this. Okay, so what happens if you have 50 students in your class, or at least 5 students? You can't keep on creating and assigning all those structures like this. Okay, or else also if you do like this, or if you take a variable and take the input from the user. Okay, so these things work very well. You can say Anil Kumar Sari, so another guy, and you can have some percentage 77.63, and you can say you can have some grade as O or excellent, whatever it might be. Right, so here we have grade and everything. So you can run around and add keep on adding grades like this, and creating variables and keep on adding. So if you want, you can print this stuff directly. You can also print them. Let's print it. Okay, /t the details. So until now we have done, this is a very basic processor here. Okay, so the details of s1. Okay, since it means student 1 here. Okay, so let's say printf / t, the name is equal to, okay, percentage yes, and let's say s1 dot name here. Okay, so in the same way you can have a printf statement to all those things, all the previous or stored data numbers / t, the roll number is equal to percentage t, so s1 dot roll number here. Okay, so in the same way you can also print so what do you call the percentage is equal to percentage f s1 dot prc. Okay, and the last, the grade here. Okay, the grade is equal to percentage c and s1 dot grade. Okay, so this, like this we have done until now. There is an error also here, maybe what a silly mistake I have done, since instead of using that I have used double quotations there. Okay, so you have all the data printed for the details of student 1 here. Okay, so in the same way you can also print the data for student 2 also. So I'm just copying everything here. You can say simply student 2 and you can print here. Okay, so I'm just changing all those things to variable s2, since we have taken student 2 as s2 here. If you run the program, so you get the details of all the student 2 here. Okay, so this is a very basic way of understanding how to store, so how to create variables. And okay, so imagine if you have 5 students or 10 students in your class, so you can't do the same process, and you keep on adding the variables like this, 2 s3. So this is a very bad practice here. Okay, so instead what you can do is you can take an array of structures here, like stu s followed by the subscript variable. So how many students you want, you can take something like this here. Okay, so this makes the array of structure declaration. Okay, so let's try to comment here. So array of structures, so declaration. So what this creates as is it creates an array of structures. The name of this array of structures is going to be 5. Okay, so here what does it mean is exactly, you can now you are eligible to have 5 arrays. Okay, so 5 arrays, 5 array of structures here. Okay, so total 5 students. So until 5 students, the system creates. Okay, so like s of 0, s of 1. So internally it stores the details like this. I am writing the comment here. S of 0 followed by s of 1 and s of comma s of 2, s of 3 and s of 4 here. Okay, so total is 0 to 4. 5 students details were created internally using this array. So under the each subscript variable, an individual variable is created, a subscript 0 at the 0th instance. You can store the data. Okay, so what we'll do is, so when array comes into picture, we can have a for loop here. So let me take a for loop. So for that, let me declare a variable. Since we are following a very primitive structure of declaring variables at the beginning. Okay, so for let's say, so I is equal to 0, so I less than 5, since we have taken an array as 5 students here. So what you can do is directly can have all your scanf statements inside it. Okay, so you can do something like this, printf /n/t. Okay, so you can say something like this, enter student percentage d comma percentage d details, okay, comma I. Okay, so what happens is, let's put +1 here, since the index starts from 0 in our for loop also. So what you can do is, so student I details, let's say, so let's have some variation in our statement here. Now what you can do is, you can enter individual data. So printf /n/t, So enter the name. Enter the name. Okay. So enter the name. Percentage T. Sorry, percentage. No, we have to use the scanf here. Okay. So scanf. Percentage yes. Okay. So S1. So sorry. So now we have to use the array syntax here. So now we have to follow the syntax of saying like this. So since we have used the array subscript variable, so the each time the loop runs. So similarly, the same syntax we have to follow here when you are storing numbers in an array or something like that here. Okay. So sfi dot name. Okay. So in the same way, you can have the printf statements and scanf statements for all other variables in the structure. So let's say enter the number or roll number. Scanf percentage T ampersand sfi dot roll number. Okay. So printf again slash T. Enter the percentage. Okay. So you can follow all the basic things. So how to enter. Let's write the full thing here. Percentage. Okay. So again, let's use the scanf statement. Percentage D. Sorry, percentage F. Okay. So percentage F and ampersand. So sfi dot percentage. Okay. So in the same way, so let's take it for the last thing here, the grade. Enter the grade. So you're just asking the grade from the keyboard as input. So enter the grade and scanf. Since it's a char, percentage C ampersand specify dot grade here. Okay. So we have just took a loop and using this array syntax of having the array name for the subscript and for each and every instance of all our array subscripts here. Okay, so we are storing the individual information using taking the input from the keyboard and storing in the respective variable structure variable name. Okay, so what I'm going to do is again now I'm using the system CLS function, and now okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just outputting each and everything. Okay, so let's take the for loop once again here to print all the details. Before that, let's write a message here. Printf /t student details. Student. All these messages are just for convenient or understanding purpose are as follows. So you can say something like this: student details are as follows. Just closing the braces, and now again I'm taking the for loop here because the second time we have 5 different students. Okay, so array of 5 structures. That means that 5 different students. We can assume something like that, and we have used in the first for loop. We have taken the input from the keyboard and we have stored in all our array indexes starting from 0 to 4. Okay, so again what we are doing is taking again the for loop once again, and we are just outputting the whole thing. I mean the entire data of all the students here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is okay, so let me write manually printf /t. Okay, /t. So what we do is the data for student. So let us write some understandable message. Percentage D. Okay, the data for student percentage D. And you can say something like this, and you can have your array subscript variable sorry I plus 1. So since index so we are starting from 0. Okay, so same way you can have all the, so 4 different things, the name, and so on and so forth. I'm just copying everything here, or let's say we can also write, no need to copy, so let's write that also. So printf slash and slash t, the name is equal to, let's keep a couple of slash t's more such that it sits under the loop every time here. Okay, slash and slash t, one more slash I'm using here. So name is equal to percentage yes. So again you have to follow the syntax as of I dot name. So the first index for the 0 index of that array of structures, it gets prints the data of that structure variable. Okay, so in the same way let's remove this couple of slashes. Okay, slash n and slash t, roll number, let's say something like this, roll number, so is equal to percentage d as of 5 dot roll number. Right, so as of 5 dot roll number, so printf slash n slash t percentage is equal to, so percentage is equal to percentage f and as of I dot prc. So printf slash n slash t grade. So we are left with just grade here. So grade is equal to percentage c and s of I dot, since we are using array of structures concept here, so grade here. Okay, so we have done with our coding of just taking 5 different structure variables or array of structures. Since we have taken something like this, and we have, by making use of this for loop, we have entered for each and every instance of an array of structure here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is run the program, see if everything goes well. Everything went well, and it's just asking for me to enter this details of student 1 here. Okay, so first name, let me say Srikanth, and roll number 1, percentage 77. Let's click here. Okay, the problem is we haven't used this f+ yesterday, so I'm just closing it once again. Since we are entering, after entering the percentage, it's taking it further. Okay, so what we do is f flush std. So if you use this function, should not have any problem here of clearing the buffer since you are entering it. Okay, so name Srikanth and roll number 1, percentage 77, buffer cleared. Let me do A grade here. Okay, so again now if you observe here, it's asking for the student details for student 2 here. Okay, I have done again a silly mistake of not typing the T here. Okay, so that never matters. Let me enter the name, another name, Ganesh, roll number 2, percentage 88, and grade, let's say P. Okay, so student 3. So if you observe here in the structure, so since we have ran a loop here and we have taken an array of structures concept, since we have ran a loop and we have taken go to full screen, taken loops for each instance for like s of 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, since we have starting the index from 0, or else it's for student 1 s of 0, student 2 s of 1, something, and so on and so forth. The loop, until the loop runs, the 5 students data will be collected here using the array of structures. So that's the advantage of using array of structures. Since we have entered 2 students, let's keep on entering here. Let's say Anil, roll number 3, percentage some 90, and some grade as A. Okay, so name, let's say Sandesh. Okay, roll number 4, percentage some silly data, whatever you wanted, you can say, grade as O. Okay, so student 5, since we have we are ending our loop here, because this is the last student we need to enter. So now what I'm doing is I'm entering another name, let's say Funny, and roll number 5, percentage 76, let's say grade here. So if you observe here, what our output has formatted is, I have just used system CLS. Whatever the data we have stored in our array, So it got displayed in a very neat format. For student 1, I have entered about the name, roll number, percentage, and for student 2, it's a name as Ganesh and number 2 percentage 88 and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going back to the program here once again. So now by the time you have understood how we have obtained output here. Okay, so here to summarize once again, we have introduced ourselves to the structures array of structures concept. So first we have defined a structure here, and then what we have done is we have a drawback of creating a single variables for structures. So if you want to store array of 5 students or 10 students or 15, 20 or 30, so you can keep on creating variables like s1, s2, s3 and so on and so forth, and which is also a very bad practice, and you can't remember all those structured variables. So imagine if you have 1,000 students in your college, and if you need to store the data, and you can keep on creating 1,000 variables for your structure. Okay, it's bad practice and bad way of doing programming here. Okay, so to overcome those kind of problems, we have array of structures here. Okay, so the array of structures syntax goes like this here. So here we have created an array of structures of 5 students here. So instead of entering the data manually, we need to take a loop. Since when array comes into picture, we need to take the loop and then store some data using the help of that loop and the array subscript followed by this syntax, very common syntax to us. Okay, so again we have taken another loop and we have just outputted the whole data we have entered into that array of structures here. Okay, so see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.